Hello friend, Tim James here, your chemical-free health coach, founder of chemicalfreebody.com. It is my pleasure today to introduce you to Dr. Scott Treadway, who is now a good friend of mine, my mentor. He's been teaching me a lot. This video today is just kind of let you guys know like how we got together and kind of what we're up to, what he's all about, what we're all about. We actually met through Dr. Brian Clement of the Hippocrates Health Institute. That's kind of where I started my journey for those of you that are following us. If you're not aware of Hippocrates, it's a 60-year-old plant-based cleansing detox center, been around a long time. It was started by Ann Wigmore. Great place, way to plug yourself in, especially if you're in the conquest of disease. But this video today is about Dr. Treadway, so we'll get to it. So I called Dr. Clement up and I was like, Brian, I really need a good formulator and a good lab to make my products. And I was having a hard time. I'd made over 30 phone calls to 30 different labs. I met a couple people that I kind of liked, but they just didn't have the background. They didn't believe in what I believe, and they didn't even know about some of the binders and fillers and flow agents like silica or magnesium stearate or these things that are going into your products that you're consuming and your children are consuming that are harming your health. And finally I just called Brian up and I was like, can you hook me up? He said, you got to talk to Scott. He believes in what you believe. And then we absolutely hit it off. Yeah. And then, I mean, it was just like long lost friends hooking up for the first time because we just, everything that I wanted, you were already doing.
Long lost brother. It was
awesome. It was awesome. And it was really cool. And it was just really important to me because I do not want to compromise on my ingredients. I want 100% sustainability, purity. This stuff's going in my body, and I want to have good products for you, the end consumer, so that you can have a healthy, you have your ideal health. That's what we're looking for. So anyway, so we got talking, and his story is amazing. So why don't you tell him, like, you know, like before you were even a doctor, what happened to your son? Your son had health issues.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he had ADD. Actually, he was hyperactive, and we didn't know what to do, and we were being recommended, you know, to look for some type of solution. So, you know, we went to our family doctor. Yeah. We went to other doctors, people that I knew in the industry. And I said, you know, what are we going to do about this? You know, and they said, well, okay, bring them in. You know, so we did that. We brought him to several doctors. But the consensus was that he should have some kind of supplementation because we used alternative methods. Even then, we were looking for an alternative.
Oh, okay.
You know, rather than drugs. And
so you were going to doctors that were already doing.
Yeah, they were already doing ADD, and they were giving things like lithium and other psychotropic drugs. Yeah. And we didn't want to go that route. We wanted to go the alternative route. So, but even in the alternative route, what we were getting back was different kinds of stories and do this and do that and so on. So, but we listened to our family doctor at that time. And he was an alternative MD. In other words, he used naturally occurring products and herbs and different things. He said, look, put them on calcium. Put them on calcium and magnesium. I said, great. And so we went out, we looked for calcium and magnesium. Guess what we found?
Chalk.
That's right. And rocks.
Rocks.
Yeah.
Rocks.
And that's all it was.
Do you think chalk and rocks is good for you?
Can you digest chalk and rocks? No, you can't.
It's a problem.
Can't digest it. So it's not a human food. It's not meant for human consumption.
And it's what's most of the calcium products today, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that's what it is. If you go out, it's still rocks. Yeah. I mean, there's no way to digest it. And it doesn't do any good. In fact, it does harm because it actually accumulates in your joints in different places and so on. Yes. But getting back to the story. So anyway, so I said, well, I've got to find something that's natural. I can't give him something unnatural. Yeah. And so I did my research and I found something. And this was from a company that actually made soups and stuff, natural soups. But they had an accumulation in these huge containers, which are like reactors. They're like giant stainless steel bowls.
Is this where they mix their soups?
Yeah, exactly. And they had a kind of a residue that was left afterwards, and they just threw it away. You know, it was like a byproduct.
Who turned you on to this?
Actually, it was another person that I had known. His name was Dr. Bronner. He was actually a friend of mine.
That guy's like a big name.
Yeah, he's a big name.
Dr. Bronner.
Yeah, Dr. Bronner.
I think a lot of you might look him up, Dr. Bronner. He was one of the pioneers, right?
He was one of the pioneers.
He's got the Bronner soaps.
The Bronner soaps and stuff.
You can even find those in some of the
natural food stores. I mean, they're everywhere now, even in grocery stores.
Even grocery stores that don't have good products.
Yeah,
they stuff in there. So that guy's a big deal. That was a big deal.
Yeah,
cool.
and that's before he passed away.
So you knew him?
I knew him. He passed away. He was
cool.
a very interesting character, a real character, but he had a lot of good knowledge. You know, he was. Really,
so he turned you on to the residue left over in these soup makers. And
he said you should use that because that's going to give you a naturally occurring calcium source that will absorb because it's a food source from plants. So I was really happy. I said, great, you know, take that and we'll make.
So how did you get some?
So anyway, I contacted that company, and they said, "Yeah, we're just throwing it away. I mean, you want to buy it from us?" I said, "You know, okay, I'll give you a few bucks." You know.
Yeah.
So we made a contract, so I was able to get that, and then it turned out it was like really high in calcium. It was like maybe 40% in calcium, naturally occurring calcium.
Wow.
So I said, "Wow, this is fantastic." So I made some supplements out of it. And I started giving it to my son, and he just reacted immediately. He was just like calm and relaxed. And it just really solved the problem.
Right.
He was able to focus at school and that kind of things. And then we gave him some other things in addition when we found out certain kinds of naturally occurring herbal brain tonics, which really work great for ADD. We'll get into that later. But
and for the people out there today listening, they probably they don't want to go to Campbell's Soup today and get that stuff because
no.
You know, pesticides and all the stuff in that. But
yeah. So you can go online. You can get it. It's under the name Argical with Meta Organics. And I know that Tim, I know you're interested in having that product eventually as well.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So they'll be able to get it from you.
Yes.
But anyway, that was very inspiring, you know, and so I saw some results. I said, you know, it just doesn't make any sense to have things made out of synthetics or inorganic minerals or synthetic vitamins. I mean, what are they even doing with those things in these natural food stores or anywhere?
Now, this is before you were a doctor, though, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So you already had this mindset that synthetics are bad before you even became a doctor.
Exactly what happened.
So what prompted you to become a doctor?
Well, I was taking courses for medical school, and I wanted to become a doctor because I was interested in helping people.
An MD.
I
wanted to be
an
medical,
MD, medical doctor. So I decided, well, okay, I'll follow the alternative path, you know, and I'm going to find out more about this. I'm going to do a study on traditional medicine. So I've studied Chinese medicine. I started to focus more on Ayurvedic medicine, because I found that was like the mother, you could say, in anthropological manner. That's sort of like the fountainhead of all these other traditional systems in the world. I'm talking about the large ones.
Yeah.
Because everybody has a traditional system. Even in the United States, we had Native Americans, and there was an indigenous system of medicine. So if you and I had 10,000 years to figure out a system.
What works, what doesn't work.
What works.
Kind of like the Aborigines in Australia.
Exactly.
The Chinese, 5,000-year-old culture.
You got it, man.
Yeah, so you studied all that.
I studied all of that. So I studied Mideastern medicine.
But you started off like at Cornell University, if I remember right?
Right, yeah. I took some courses there, and that was interesting. But still, it wasn't about traditional medicine, so I was really interested in that.
Yeah.
So, I went to India eventually and studied with a master of traditional medicine. Came back, started to apply those principles, and then started to make products based upon those principles of naturally occurring plant-based.
That's an important point that you bring up, guys, because this master that he trained under, there was actually two of them, correct?
Yes, that's true.
And both of those guys were in an apprenticeship for thousands of years, right? If you know, one would learn what worked, what didn't work, and they'd pass it on to the next one, pass it on to the next one. So after 1,000 years, you know what works.
Yeah, and sometimes it was in the same family, but it was based upon real knowledge of a long period of time.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking over 10,000 years. I mean, some of these medical traditions are very, very ancient.
And you can't even do that today as a doctor.
You can't.
If you're a doctor today and you figure something out that works, number one, you could lose your license for it if it's not standard of care. You definitely can't share it with other doctors.
That's right.
You have to follow what they teach you in the college, and 50% of that funding, guys, written by the pharmaceutical company. Sorry to get off on that, but it's really, your story's so cool. So keep going. You're over in India. You learn all this stuff. You keep going back to India, bringing it back, and then you start taking all that thousands of years of knowledge and blending it with Western herbs and homeopathy, and you started becoming a formulator, this master formulator.
Yeah. So I actually had you know, started a facility, San Rafael, California.
Oh, cool.
And we started to make some of these things. So we started to make. This is 30 years ago now, or over 30 years now. But we made the first non-synthetic multiple vitamin.
Oh,
you know,
cool.
because we had the calcium. We started with that. That was the first product.
Right.
So we had a naturally occurring calcium. Then we made a naturally occurring, fully non-synthetic. This is the key, non-synthetic.
Yeah.
Because most of these things that are vitamins, they're all synthetic.
Yeah, they got chemicals in them.
And now today they all come, you know, they're mass-produced, you know, from China or whatever,
Right.
and they're just spread all over the place.
Yeah.
And so nobody knows.
Yeah, we're not going to give names today, but go to Whole Foods. The ones that are taking up the most shelf space that you think are organic and natural they've got synthetics in them.
They do.
You've taught me some stuff on that.
Well, they do.
And that's when I was upset. I got pissed, and I'm like, I got to make my own stuff.
I know. That's right.
I'm like, who else am I going to trust? Because every time, even if I find a good company, then 6 months later the ingredients would change.
That's
and then I have to throw that out and go searching again. So I just finally got tired of it, so I'm just going to do it myself.
That's right. Because it's very few companies. Tim is one of the top companies in the country right now. There's maybe 4 or 5 of these companies that are existing that are doing the right thing. When I say the right thing, I mean using naturally occurring ingredients, not synthetics, and not spiking something that has a lot of natural things in it with synthetics. That's another thing that's happened.
Right.
And the people don't realize it doesn't even have to be put on the label. This is the thing. They use third parties. Then they say, oh, okay, this is a yeast or whatever that's been quote enhanced.
Yeah.
That means synthetics.
Right.
And even the organic standards are not really appropriate. I mean,
I know.
You know, if you could call something organic, I mean, people see the label. And the public knows this. You know, you see a label that says organic, you think it's organic, right?
Right.
Guess what?
Assume so.
Guess what? It's not.
It's just like you ask me what time it is, and I say, well, it's 2 o'clock. You're gonna believe that, right?
Yeah.
But guess what? No, it's 4:30.
Yeah.
Because I lied.
Yeah. So
It's
if you
like,
can,
what?
So you can put a
Just
label.
tell me what time it is. Give me a product that's clean. That's
There
all
you
I
go.
wanted.
That's all.
That's all I ever wanted was I didn't want to get into this in the beginning. I was doing financial planning and stuff. I wanted some good supplementation because all the nutrition's farmed out of the soil.
Right. What you wanted was the truth.
Just
you
the
wanted to get something that's completely natural that didn't have synthetics in it.
Right.
So even with the organic label, you can still have about 5% or even up to 30% of synthetics and all kinds of crap. Can you believe that? It's just
I can now. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it.
It's happening.
Yeah.
So you're doing a wonderful thing, Tim, because you're following the naturally occurring program and protocols. And this is very rare in our society. It's just rare.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that you're doing this. I'm really proud of you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
You bet.
So Dr. Treadway is a master formulator. He's been at it 35 years. You work with some of the top 5 companies, and when we say the top 5, we're talking about, you know, synthetic free, no binders that are synthetic, no fillers that are synthetic, no flow agents that are synthetic, 100% plant-based nature.
That's right.
And sustainable and fair trade. There's no slave labor. We're not hurting anybody on the other end.
No,
you got to think about this because
right.
when you vote with your dollars, guys, we talk about this all the time. So what I love about this guy is he gets all that, and we make sure through him that that whole chain all the way through is sustainable. Nobody's getting hurt, and that you're not getting hurt on the other end. So was there anything else? Was there any like mentors besides like Dr. Bonner on your journey here in the States that anybody might recognize?
Well, I would say like historically, you know, because I read a lot of the research of different people who are well known.
Yeah.
Like Dr. Royal Lee, for example. Now this is.
Did you meet him too?
No. He passed away long.
Oh yeah. He was way back.
But he was a founder.
Well, who knows? I mean, you've been on these products. I mean, what are you, like 200?
Yeah, I'm about 210 now. No.
How old are you actually?
Well, actually, I'm 70.
70.
Yeah.
Yeah, your skin looks great.
Yeah, I feel good. I don't feel 70. I feel like I'm maybe 30-something.
How are your friends that are 70? How are they getting along?
Well, the ones that I've helped are feeling pretty good.
What about the ones that you haven't helped?
The ones I haven't helped, yeah.
Are they still alive, or some of them are died, or
they're not living what I would call a good quality of life.
Yeah.
You need to live a good quality of life. It doesn't even matter how long you live. Maybe we live 100 years if we're eating the right foods and we're doing the right things.
Right.
And hopefully that's what's going to happen when you meet Tim and you start to follow his protocols and his program. You're going to live a lot longer. But the main thing is quality of life, as you know.
Yeah.
It's quality of life.
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to die of a disease. I'd rather, be, have death is going to come to all of us. But it would be nice if it happened in a way where we were healthy.
Right. So how's your mental clarity on a daily basis, Dr. Treadway?
Excellent, and it's a lot better now that that I'm taking my own or your products and the food supplements that are naturally occurring. Awesome. And this is what
how's your energy level on a daily basis?
Energy level's good. I'm like a 40-year-old probably. I would say. Yeah.
And guys, this is the big point here. I have yet to meet a medical doctor today that's healthy. I haven't met one yet
That's
because
a good point.
They're not eating concentrated nature. They're on fish oil and they're prescribing. Just go ahead and eat,
which is poisonous, by the way.
Yeah, eat the dairy products. Drink the breast secretions of the cow and stuff. So my thing is, like, I grew up on a farm. I'm looking for results. If somebody like Scott is 70 and he's healthy, I mean, look at his skin. You can tell that he's healthy. We have to follow results. I don't care what anybody's talking about, and they can show me all these double-blind, peer-reviewed studies and all this stuff. It's like, you take the product, how do you feel, right?
Exactly.
And it's not like you get a stimulation from some chemical and then it weans off, and then you got to change the dosage and then change this and change that. It's like it's just common sense.
It's just common sense.
It's just common sense.
Well, you believe
you're walking the walk, and that's what's so important. That's why I'm working with you, because you're not just talking about it. You're walking it. You helped your son. You've helped you've helped thousands and thousands of people. Now you're a major consultant for these big companies.
Yep.
And I just want to thank you for working with me, because it's a privilege to work with a guy of your caliber that's done what you've done, and to help me get my message out to the world, which is that we all deserve, it's our birthright to have a chemical-free body. We want to help and teach you guys and empower you to get these chemicals out of your body, replace the nutrients that are missing with great formulations that Dr. Treadway's put together, and so you guys can have your ideal health. So Scott, thank you so much for being here today. Did you have something else?
Thank you, Tim. I just wanted to say that Tim gets it. He understands the natural occurring protocols, which are the most fundamental knowledge about nutrition and health. And I want to thank you for what you're doing, and I'm really happy to be working with you.
Yes. Well, let's get the message out there.
You got it.
Because our society definitely needs it.
Everybody.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for stopping by and meeting Dr. Scott Treadway. Please take time to check out our website, chemicalfreebody.com. Look around, get on some of our amazing products, try them out for yourself, see how they make you feel, and you'll just see for yourself. I mean, they just work.
Work.
Their work. We know they work.
It's not an experiment.
No, not an experiment.
We know that they work.
It works.
And they work.
And now you know who's behind the products that you're taking. It's Tim and Scott. We'll see you guys again real soon. And remember, you deserve to have your ideal health. Why wait any longer? Come over here and join us. Join the chemical-free movement today, and start improving your health. And one by one, as other people see your changes, they're going to want a piece of that, and they're going to start, hey, what's going on? What are you doing? Well, I'm drinking more water. I'm taking these supplements. They'll follow suit, start eating more plants, and that is how we're going to improve our community and this planet we call home.
Make a better world.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, we'll see you again real soon. Have an awesome day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Summer of Love in Golden Gate Park with the flowers and shit.
You're going to have to get me all up to speed on that. I grew up over in Eastern Oregon, man.